Everything is awesome.
That's weird. Don't do that ever again.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Acts of Geekery, episode 4. It is July 17th, 2014. I'm Cory.
Episode 4, A New Hope.
A New Hope, yep.
I'm Scott.
Good, we got it right this time.
Yes. Curse you for tricking me into saying that I was you.
You're
That's
welcome.
the biggest insult ever.
Really? I could think of a few more, but we'll have to say them off air.
Well, we already did on episode 2, apparently.
That's true. I hope you all enjoyed our last episode, or at least listened all the way through it.
Yeah, you don't have to enjoy it. I mean, we don't care if you enjoy it. You just need to listen to it for us.
In fact, just download it. Give us the download.
Yeah,
points.
just the download.
Yeah.
If you just want to download it and delete it, that's fine. I mean, it's your computer. You can do what you want, but we just want you to listen to it at least. Or...
We're not going to be mad. We're not going to be mad.
Not mad. Just we're disappointed.
Disappointed.
We're disappointed in you.
Okay, Geek Dad.
Gad.
Gad?
Geek Dad is Gad.
Or Deek?
No. No, Gad. I like Gad better.
Of course you do. You're the one who came up with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus it's better.
All right. On topic. Here we go.
Hey, we're arguing about something. That's
good.
perfect.
Yep. We'll get into more arguing later in the episode. And I know you love me saying that on the podcast.
Yeah.
Let's get into some news, though.
Okay.
Hey, you know how we always start the episode? You like some Dawn of Justice news, Scott?
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about
Bring it
Age of
on.
Ultron.
Oh. I was going to say bring it on.
Yeah.
I like Dawn of Justice.
Sorry.
But Age of Ultron's good too.
Yeah, not much from DC this week, which is a complete surprise. But
yeah, I mean, you got Comic-Con coming up. I bet they're holding back a lot of stuff
Which
for the
is-
reveal, especially after all their movie lineup got leaked.
yeah, exactly. They're probably tightening down on all that, which is really interesting because Dawn of Justice is really far away, like 2016.
Yeah.
And they're already spilling information about people and everything like that. However, Age of Ultron is much closer next May.
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah, May 1st, my birthday.
Is it May or is it okay?
Yeah, it's always the first Marvel movie of the year is always in May. So, and they're already they just barely came out with something that said, "Hey, here's what we're doing," and they came out and showed a picture of Ultron, the villain.
Did. I saw this floating around. Oh, it looks great.
It does, doesn't it? And they came out and they said that Ultron is not only going to be the main villain, but he's going to be created by Tony Stark.
Interesting, because in the comics it's by the Ant-Man guy. I just forgot his name, of course.
Hank Pym.
Hank Pym. Yes.
All right.
He's created by
give me a
Hank
geek
Pym.
card.
Okay, here you go. Here's one. Here's one geek card. There you go.
It could fully work. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, they're going to basically Iron Man says, I don't need to wear the suit anymore. I can make these robots.
A la Iron Man 3, because
Yep.
he was kind of like tired of being Iron Man, so I'm going to do something else for a while.
So he makes a bunch of robot suits and programs them with
The AI from the arm robot that always films him and sets him on fire or sprays the stuff on him.
I shall have my revenge at last.
Exactly. That's why it goes crazy and starts killing everyone. It's because he's pissed for being made fun of.
Yeah, he's dummy all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, no, they install an AI into him, and the AI determines that the only way to save humanity is by basically destroying a lot of humanity.
Your standard sci-fi robots. We built this protector, and it decides that the only way to protect humans is to get rid of humans because we're the problem.
Yep. And, kind of, we've seen that in iRobot before, but that goes along with Captain America 2, which introduced this concept of this program that calculated who would be the troublemakers in it later on, except for it calculated it for a regime like Hydra that said, these are the people who are going to speak out against us.
Yeah.
So we should kill them first, and then everybody else will be just subjugated, which is up Ultron's alley. So I think we might get a little bit of a dynamic there. And Marvel's really good about doing this. They're good about making single movies. They did it with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where they had all this stuff, and you're just like, okay, well, I kind of get how this works, and then oh my gosh, it all comes together.
Yeah, yeah. And well, they even talk about that in Captain America 3 or 2.
2.
No, 3. He hasn't come out
You've
yet.
been to scene 3?
Yeah.
Where is your DeLorean? I didn't see it out there.
It's in the garage.
Okay.
It's parked in the garage.
Alrighty.
In Captain America
just a weather
2,
experiment.
it's just a weather experiment. So I tell everyone, I just open my garage randomly and cover my car with a thing, and when someone walks by, little kids, and stuff, I'm like, yeah, just a weather experiment. Yeah.
Well, great.
And they
Scott.
always good one. They always look at me like, you're insane. And then I close the garage really slowly and follow the garage door down with my head until it's at the very bottom.
I love this idea.
We should start doing it.
Yes, we should. But yeah, you were saying
In Iron Man 2 or Captain America 2, I'm bad today. I'm gonna mix everything up. So I am Geeklexic today. So I'm Geeklexic. In Captain America 2, they talk about how Tony has had a nice little hand in helping them build the new helicarriers.
I think not you said only Iron Man 2 again.
No, I said Captain America 2.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
now who's being Geeklexic?
I'll give you your geek card back.
Yeah. I find it funny. We're talking about Iron Man, and we're both wearing Iron Man shirts.
Yeah.
That unplanned.
Mine's a bit better, but okay.
I don't know. Mine's pretty cool too.
Yeah. I love you people at home decide which one of our Iron Man shirts is better.
Here, we're going to show you right now through the microphones. Nope. Okay, now you get to choose.
That was such good synchronized shirt lifting that nobody's ever going to see.
Yeah. They would have seen our boobs. Our man boobs. Our geek man boobs. Our goobs.
I call mine the Wonder Twins.
Okay, Terry and Terry.
Yes, Terry and Terry.
All right.
Anyway, in Captain America 2, they're talking about how the helicarriers have Stark tech, is what I'm guessing.
So maybe he came up with part of the program as well,
Yep.
and that's how he gets the idea for Ultron.
Yep, and then Ultron maybe gets corrupted by this Hydra tech and goes on a rampage, which we know Hydra's going to have their own little hand in it. Maybe Hydra corrupts Ultron themselves because the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are Hydra creations.
Yes.
Maybe they infiltrate Tony's laboratory and install this algorithm that starts going crazy and building more Stark robots.
Yeah.
I think we just figured out the plot of the movie.
Possibly. Maybe that's how they get introduced. The other cool thing about Ultron that I like how they're doing this. I was kind of excited to do Thanos, but then I realized that they need more build up and more backstory as to why Thanos is going to come to Earth. Why is he going to come to Earth? I mean, what's the point? We've never seen him before. We've never heard of him before. We've never even heard of his lackeys before.
Yeah, all we know is that he smiles when somebody says the word death.
Yep. Well, I like Ultron because one of the cool things, since I am a computer geek myself and he's a robot, he does a lot of things where they will destroy his body and they'll be like, oh, yay, Ultron's dead. Show's over, folks. And like 5 minutes later, new Ultron comes into view. And it's because he can upload his consciousness up to, the cloud or up in the internet or whatever.
Oh my gosh, they're going to mention the cloud.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a superhero? The Cloud. He just rains on people.
I hope you didn't have any parades planned today.
I'm going to rain on them. But he can upload himself into new bodies, and he has a habit of making new upgraded bodies. So I expect this to be a really good fight. And, of course, Ultron has all of his minions, his little Ultron bots or Ultron drones or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. Ultra drones. So you've got your Captain America and your Iron Man that have both been setting up for Ultron.
Yep.
Avengers 2. But on the other side of it, you've got your Thor and you've got your Guardians of the Galaxy coming out in August. Because I know, setting up your Avengers 3.
Yeah.
Your Thanos quest for the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, we can finally do all that.
So I think that's a really cool dynamic that they're showing. Hey, these people are doing their own things, and it just happens to coincide to be bad for everybody.
Yes. Wasn't it always?
Yeah.
It's always bad for the world.
In this article in Entertainment Weekly, they also showed a bunch of stills from the movie for basically like the actors sitting around in their suits and everything like that. Not like sitting like on a smoke break.
Are they all eating shawarma again?
Yep. That's all they do now.
That's all they do.
That's all the Avengers
between
do.
fights is eat shawarma.
Yes.
We're having a meeting at the local shawarma place.
All right. They showed Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch together, which they look fine. I mean, they look like here. I'll bring the picture up for you as I'm talking.
Okay.
But they look fine. But it's not like it doesn't really. Oh, this is the wrong. But it doesn't really show you much else. So we've got, but one of the pictures that we have towards the end shows Captain America and Iron Man and Rhodey.
Oh, okay.
Don Cheadle.
Budget Iron Man.
Budget Iron Man.
Budget Iron Man.
Yeah, War Machine. So maybe we could get a War Machine cameo in.
Wait.
Cameo.
I'm looking at this right now with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Weren't they? I mean, is Godzilla behind him? I can't tell.
Yes, that is Aaron Taylor Johnson from Kick-Ass and Godzilla fame, and Elizabeth Olsen,
the non-crazy Olsen.
The non-crazy Olsen. Well, she's not even
Olsen twinlet.
Twinwit?
Triplet.
Who happened to play Aaron Taylor Johnson's wife in Godzilla.
Yeah,
which is really creepy considering they're brother and sister in this.
Yeah.
You get to see some cool Hawkeye action. More science.
I mean, if you really love Hawkeye,
looking at these pictures, it's Tony Stark and Mark
Science
Ruffalo
Bros?
together.
Science
yes,
Bros.
And all I'm thinking is like, this is going to be the best movie ever because they're going to be able to talk to one another.
If they don't make it to the point where they're talking so much science that I can't understand him, I'm going to be disappointed.
So then there's Joss Whedon, of course. But
wait, go back up. Joss Whedon? What superhero is he? Oh, he's
Director Man.
Yeah, he's a Marvel Director Man. He turns all the Marvel properties into gold, right?
Yep,
okay,
he does. They call him Midas. There is a Dr. Midas in Marvel Universe.
Dr. Whedon Midas.
But there's your shot of Captain America. I'm not sure who that is in the background.
That's Hawkeye.
Oh, what do you know? It is. Who cares about Hawkeye? Like you said. And then it's got
some people
Tony.
Do. He's not bad.
And Don Cheadle.
Okay. Like I said, budget Iron Man.
He's not. What do you have against War Machine?
My problem with War Machine is, first of all, I like the idea of Tony being Iron Man because he's, super smart and freaking genius about things. But when I look at Don Cheadle in War Machine, I see some guy driving a car that he has no idea how it works. And so when he breaks down, it's like, I gotta call my AAA. Hello, Tony Stark. I need help. I broke my suit.
Tony can't help you because he's in double A.
Oh, all right. He's an AA.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, Ultron looks like an Iron Man suit, kind of an Iron Man suit gone wrong. And in the
kind of looks like the robots from the new RoboCop movie.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
The ones on the street, and also those mixed with the ones from Elysium.
Oh, never seen that.
You should. It's pretty good.
When I watched of it when you guys were watching it downstairs.
I'll make you watch it. I'll make you watch it.
Of course you will.
Just like Hitler's dad made him do those chants or whatever, I'll make you watch Elysium until you hate all Elysiums. And that'll be only one movie.
I can't face palm hard enough.
That's why you got double face palm.
Oh, right.
Yep.
No, but it looks really cool. And when they announced it at Comic-Con, they actually showed the preview, the teaser preview.
Teaser preview.
Thank you. Was Iron Man's helmet being hammered into the Ultron mask.
Yeah.
Which, kind of was your first clue that maybe Tony Stark would be the creator of Ultron by accident. I still think they should throw in a reference to Ant-Man.
I was just going to say, do you think they'll name drop Hank Pym?
I think when they came up with the idea for Avengers 2, Ant-Man was still under Edgar Wright, and Edgar Wright didn't want it in the Marvel Universe proper. He wanted his own movie. We're so
glad he's gone.
Mixed feelings. Like, I'm glad that it gets to be part of the Marvel Universe now, if they want it to be. But Edgar Wright's a good director, so...
Yeah, but if he's not willing to fan service and play ball with Marvel, get him out of there. I don't care how good of a director he is.
But so I think when Edgar Wright left, they went, "Oh, we can put Hank Pym in the Avengers movie." but we're already filming. It'd be way too hard to go back and just edit it into being Hank Pym.
Just need a name drop. Like, where did you know when they're science broing it up?
Yeah, be like, oh,
Bruce Banner needs to be like, where did you get this this technology from? He's like, my good friend from college, Hank Pym, came up with the idea.
Except for I think Hank
and there
Pym
he is
in
on
this
your
universe.
shoulder. Flick.
Okay, moving on. So Scott, Gotham looks like a great TV show coming out.
It's a terrible town. I'd never live there.
It's Jersey.
Worse than Jersey. It has super
There's
villains.
nothing worse than Jersey.
That's true. There's a lot of pretty bad stuff comes out of there.
Yeah.
But Gotham's pretty bad.
Yes.
Okay.
The TV show's coming out. It's going to be out September 22nd.
Yes.
No, 20th. 22nd. You're right. Sorry.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, September 20th. Yeah, I think you're right. But they're releasing a bunch of TV spots and everything like that.
They're about 30 seconds long, and they kind of showcase all the different, new characters and the villains, and it shows Bruce Wayne after his parents' murder,
Getting geared up for it. Well, in one of the trailers, they show a comedian at the club where one of this the mob boss lady, whatever her name is, Jada Smith's.
Yeah. Mooney. Her last name's Mooney or something.
Yeah, her club.
Jada,
and everybody,
Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife.
And everybody pointed fingers and went, "Oh my gosh, it's the Joker! Oh my gosh, it's the Joker!" Well, the showrunners.
I heard. Well, let me stop you there. I heard that they were not going to ever do a Joker in this show, or at least not in the first little bit.
So that's what I got for you today. And this works out really well. Oh yeah, Fish Mooney is her name. Fish Mooney. Well, it turns out the showrunners.
What a name, Fish Mooney.
Yeah, better than the Penguin.
I don't know. I'd take the Penguin over Fish Mooney.
That's true.
Fish Mooney is like a aquatic butt.
Let's see, mackerel lunar. No. Anyway, wow, you just like throwing me off topic today. So everybody's calling out that he's in the nightclub. Well, the showrunners come out and say, well, there's gonna be somebody who's potentially the Joker in every episode.
I like that.
So you've got a guy on the street corner doing card tricks. You've got a guy selling novelty flowers. You've got a guy who's just got a big grin on his face.
You have a clown that's handing balloons to kids.
You've got the Joker. Yes. Standing there just waving.
Yep.
Pointing at himself
like
it's
that.
me.
I like that a lot because in the comics, no one has any clue about the Joker's backstory. They've never done an origin story for him ever.
And I think they handled it very well in The Dark Knight, where they gave him at least 2 origin stories.
At least.
On how he got those scars.
Yeah, and he tells them even more. I think he tells like 4 in the whole thing.
I thought it was only 2.
Anyways, yeah. But they're all different, so you don't know.
Exactly. Which is really cool, and I'm glad that they're doing it that way for Gotham.
Yeah.
And I think we'll talk about do you want to talk about the TV spots now or later?
I mean, I already did.
Okay. They're cool.
Yeah, they're cool. They're like 30 seconds long. I mean, go check them out. You can find them on YouTube, but there's a couple of them. So
Scott, do you like Thor?
I love Thor.
Do you like Captain America?
I like Captain America.
Okay, what if Thor was a female?
I'd ask him out on a date. Or I guess in this case it would be her on a date.
Now here's the loaded question. What if Captain America was a black guy?
Okay. I mean, that's a little odd based off the mythos of the character, but
so they're doing Marvel Now, which is a comic, or like the comic series that comes out. They bring out new number ones. Part of that is coming out with a new Thor. Basically, Thor becomes unworthy to wield the hammer.
Okay.
And
so this is new to me because I've been hearing all kinds of people up in arms about Thor's now a girl, and at first I thought maybe he got Loki casts a spell on him and turned him into a
because Loki's been a horse before and a girl.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so they're gonna do a 6-issue comic run of Thor being a girl and has to learn Thor girly things. She'll still be super strong, command lightning, and can fly in space. So, I mean, I don't really see how that's a bad thing. Being a girl's not bad anyways. Yeah. So
I have a really bad joke that I'll have to tell you off air.
Okay.
In fact, let's go ahead and pause the podcast because I really want to tell you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that was really bad.
It was bad, but it was good.
Yeah. If you message us on Facebook, we might share it with you, but be prepared to be offended.
Only privately.
Yeah.
Privately.
Well, anyway,
we're good at offending
So
people.
a lot of people are up in arms because they're thinking they're just turning Thor into a woman. Well, I think what they're going with is a Thor becomes unworthy, but there's a woman out there who is worthy to wield the hammer. And the hammer states that whosoever shall be worthy shall have the power of Thor.
Yeah.
So they become Thor, basically.
Okay. I wonder if this has anything to do with the current storyline that they're doing right now. It's the last days of Midgard. They just wrapped it up, and he basically fails this town that he was trying to protect, and some big corporate conglomerates and a bunch of trolls destroyed it. And I wonder if he becomes unworthy because of that, or if he decides to stop being Thor for a while because he doesn't feel like he can do his job, basically.
Yeah. Well, and they say this
Which,
isn't...
Side note, if you like Thor the character at all, you need to pick up the latest Thor run that's going on in Marvel right now. Start with #1, which is the God Bomb series.
So
and then
amazing.
Everything after that is fantastic. It's the best Thor comic I have ever read so far.
I've heard it described as heavy metal if it were a comic.
Okay.
The movie Heavy Metal.
I don't think I've ever seen it. So
Hell, it's, but probably not as body like rated R-ish.
yeah.
But they say that this is not a temporary substitute for Thor. This is the one and only Thor, and she is worthy.
Okay.
But Marvel came out and said Spider-Man's dead. We've got Superior Spider-Man now. You're not getting Spider-Man back. And
So
look what happened there.
I was actually talking to a coworker
Okay.
that I found out her husband owns a local comic shop here called Haster Games and Comics. Been there a couple times. Pretty cool place. Anyway, she was talking. She says that she likes to read Marvel, but she mainly likes to read the strong female roles and
There
titles.
are a lot of them in Marvel.
Not compared to DC though. There's a lot more DCs, and that was her main issue beforehand, was that there was only a couple in Marvel, and so she stopped picking them up because there wasn't enough to really keep her interest.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's part of what Marvel's trying to do. They're saying, well, we need more strong female characters that have their own titles, not just as part of the Avengers or as part of the Defenders or as a secondary character to Tony Stark or something like that. They need their own title. Right now you've got Black Widow, Miss Marvel, Storm, I think, has hers. I think so. Yeah, I think, yeah. Well, Miss Marvel, aka Captain Marvel. But so there's not too many strong female lead titles out there.
She-Hulk.
There's another one, yeah. But that's like 4 that we can name off the top of our heads. I mean, I got Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman, Batgirl, Batwoman.
Okay,
and I can just keep going for DC. There's quite a few in DC. You got Zatanna and things like that. So
Yep. You're right. Marvel does need a more female representation, and I think Thor's the way to go. Now, her picture, which we'll post on the Facebook page, shows her in the Thor armor, and it's not the usual, oh, I'm a girl in plate armor, and it's all revealing and everything. It's actually armor, and yet she still looks pretty damn good in it.
yeah, it's a pretty cool picture. I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the way they're going. We'll see how the storyline happens. I pick up the Thor title, so I'm sure I'll see the changeover between that.
I hope so. And this might have also something to do with the revelation that Thor has a sister.
Yes, from Original Sin, the crossover that's going on right now for Marvel Comics.
So we'll have to see about that and how it's going.
Chick Thor.
Well, let's move on to Black Captain
There's
America.
going to be lots of terrible comments about it.
Oh, yeah. Don't go on the internet. They're going to explode.
It's going to be horrible.
They've already exploded.
Yeah, the geeks out there are going to hate it. And this is one of the things we're going to discuss a little later on about just geek arguments and stuff. So
and
just
geek girls in general.
Yeah. Yep.
Because there's a whole lot of controversy around that.
Yep.
There's also a lot of controversy around characters who should be white becoming African American or colored, i.e.
or Muslim. There's been a couple, like when the new Green Lantern Simon Baz came out, who's Muslim, and they drew him with like a full face mask and a gun, and it's like, really?
Yeah.
He's a Green Lantern, and that's what he comes up with is a gun. Okay.
Well, that's what all of it. I mean, it's better than a giant fist, you have to admit.
I mean, yeah, but at least they didn't draw him with like a bomb
It's like,
strapped to him
like
or something.
if they drew a new American one and he was morbidly obese and conjured up a bunch of French fries.
That would be. I would read that comic. I would read the crap out of that comic.
Beware my power, Green Lantern.
What's up? Let me finish this Danish real quick.
Well, a notable example of a character who is usually Caucasian,
Traditionally white guy. Yeah.
and is now being portrayed as an African American is
Is who?
the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four movie that's coming out.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Not in the comics.
Nope, not in the comics yet. Oh, bless you.
We'll cut that out.
Maybe. I think that's pretty funny. He's being portrayed by Michael B. Jordan is the guy's name from Chronicle.
Yeah. The other one of the three kids that gets the telekinetic powers.
Hint: he's not one of the white ones.
Yeah, he's not the white two.
And there's a lot of controversy around it, mostly about if Sue Richards is or Storm, because she's Storm right now. If she's white, why is he black? And blah blah blah. And everything.
Because they're supposed to be brother and sister in the comics.
And there's plenty of reasons out there. By the way, I want to have this discussion with you right now. Adoption is a thing that happens a lot, and interracial couples are a thing that happen a lot.
Yeah, and there have been many cases of a Caucasian baby going to an interracial couple when usually it's not that case. So maybe she's an albino.
She's the albino.
She's an albino.
Maybe we're all albino.
We are. I'm pretty alabaster.
Yeah. Say it like that, you sound like you're a saint or something.
No, I'm a porcelain doll. I can't go out in the sun.
Oh, that just makes you sound creepy.
Well, you're the one talking to a doll.
I'm a porcelain. That's even creepier. Anyway,
so you've got. So who else? Who else is turning into?
They just announced that
a different race
Captain America.
Before. Okay.
And holy crap, we were talking over each other for that.
I'm sorry.
I apologize for that. No, it's my fault entirely. No, after you.
No, after you.
No, after you.
After you.
Okay. All right. Captain America is hanging up his tights, as it were. They cited that he's strong in mind and would continue the fight if he could, but his body's giving out.
That's a cop-out answer, Marvel.
I kind of call foul on that as well.
Marvel, since you listen to this all the time, that is a huge cop-out answer.
He has Marvel on the line.
He has super soldier serum. He is not weak in body. That's part of his whole appeal is he doesn't age. Doesn't get disease. He's super strong. So it's going to be Captain America, the arthritis version. Captain America in the battle with osteoporosis.
I can't open my pill bottles anymore.
Yeah,
it hurts
that's
my wrist too much.
what they're making him sound like.
Yeah,
sound like he's 90 years old.
Well, he's passing the torch to Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon.
Okay,
and they're giving them this cool new look where he's got his Falcon wings, but he's got the Captain America outfit and he's got the shield. And
why don't they just call him the Eagle?
The Eagle. Oh my gosh, it'd be so much better. Marvel,
the bald eagle.
Give us some money. Give us some royalties for that.
Just came up with your new Captain America character.
Yeah, you can keep your Captain America and just make the eagle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The symbol of our country.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and then they said that Steve Rogers is going to be his behind the scenes.
He's going to be his Oracle.
Yeah, exactly.
Oracle to his Batman.
The Oracle to his Batman. The Jarvis to his Tony Stark.
Yep.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Well, are they going to give him super soldier serum?
I'm not sure on that yet.
I don't really care then. Okay. I'm sorry. The whole appeal of Captain America is...
He's the peak of American perfection.
Yeah,
that's what he's supposed to be.
The peak of human perfection. You don't have to specify Americans. I mean,
well, he's Captain America. I kind of went with the American.
Sure, but he's the best. He's the best soldier. He's the strongest human. Normal human. Obviously,
the highest morality.
Powers, yeah, he's supposed to be able to always do the right thing regardless. And I've never really. The Falcon was pretty cool in Captain America 2.
I loved him.
But he was just kind of a thrown-in character for me on that. I just kind of like, he's here. Okay. And now we're going back to Captain. Yay!
Yay.
I didn't really care too much for him.
I liked the Falcon in that movie a whole lot. I think that if the movie universe would ever follow the example of the comics, then the Falcon would be the way to go. By, when Chris Evans decides he doesn't want, which he's already said, after my contract's up, I don't want to do any more movies. He wants to retire. He wants to direct, basically. So they can pass the torch to
Interesting, because he's
Sam
what,
Wilson.
like 30?
Yeah,
something?
well, retire as in he wants to direct. He wants to retire from acting and just direct movies.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, we'll see. He'll come back. Oh my gosh, the first superhero rebirth on screen. He dies at the end of like Avengers 3, Avengers 4, Avengers 5 happen. Then he comes back in Avengers 6 and with like a whole new team, and all of a sudden Captain America's back and they're like, "What?"
Yeah, I mean, I like that you're super optimistic that there's going to be 6 Avengers. I hope so. I love the movies. But I don't know, that's a long time. That's like it'd be like 2032 is when Avengers 6 comes out. 2032. Yeah.
We'll still be around. Still bringing you podcasts.
Yeah, we'll be on episode 7 by then, I think. Yeah.
We're gonna skip a whole couple of thousand.
You have to wait an entire decade for us to do another podcast.
I hope you can stand the wait.
If you're a true fan, you will. Yes, I'm throwing that on you.
So, how about we do some Salt Lake Comic-Con news?
All right. Local Comic-Con.
News update. No?
Now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Salt Lake Comic-Con.
Okay.
They announced a slew of writers and artists and stuff for their alleys and everything like that, which I don't really follow as much. If I see somebody cool,
I walk down the alleys.
Yeah, I do too, and I find the artists that I like and I get them to sign things and everything. But I'm not really excited about their announcements at all.
Okay.
However, they are bringing in 2 new celebrities. The first one is Barbara Eden, who played the Genie in I Dreamed of Jeannie.
Okay.
It's a pop culture thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. We'll see how many people cosplay as I Dream of Jeannie.
That would be funny. Except yeah, okay. And then the other one, Alan Tudyk, whatever.
Yeah, that's the one you need to say whatever about, right? It should have been Barbara Eden, whatever. Alan Tudyk. If you don't know who that is, he played Wash from Firefly. He was Alpha in Dollhouse. He also played King Candy.
Yes.
In Wreck-It Ralph.
And the Duke of Westleton.
The Duke of Westleton.
Frozen.
Yes, in Frozen. That was great.
And also, he's been a hillbilly in Tucker and Dale versus Eeyore.
Yep. He was Tucker or Dale.
He was Tucker, I think. And I think he's also, let's see, there's one other thing. He's somebody in Knight's Tale. I can't remember the character's name, but he's one of the squires.
He's the guy that announces them.
Yeah. So welcome both of you. That's really awesome. And we're glad to.
Yeah, we'll see him there. Maybe we'll get an autograph or something from him.
Probably.
Maybe we'll just stop by and talk to him and be like, "I'm so sad that you died with the giant spear to the chest."
Oh,
such a
spoilers,
horrible.
but
for a 10-year-old movie.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Yeah, it was.
All right, moving on to some game news now.
All right.
I know you don't have a Wii U, Scott.
I don't. However, so I was really skeptical at first of the Wii U, because the Wii didn't really ever appeal to me.
It was pretty gimmicky.
Yeah, it still kind of is.
Mm-hmm. I bought one and it cost me like what, $199 or whatever.
Yeah, not too much.
So that was a $200 Netflix box that I basically eventually paid or bought.
Yeah, we've played a few things. We got Super Smash and we've played the Mario Party on it, and Mario Kart.
I played Kirby Epic Yarn. That was pretty good. And actually, the Mario Brothers Wii was really good.
Yeah, it was good. It was kind of a remake of regular Mario. But yeah, it was really gimmicky. So when they came out the Wii U, I looked at it and I was like, it's even still, gimmickier with a touch screen on your
You get a
controller.
tablet with it.
Yeah, that's a little
which
weird.
is kind of weird. But they just started announcing their Super Smash Brothers game, which every time we see a Super Smash Brothers game, we get super excited for it. Like, no matter what it is.
One of the best game series out there. Like,
if you want a good fighting game, it's the only, like, 3D-ish fighting game that I can really stand. Mostly because it's in, like, flat screen. You know, you're moving left to right. You're not moving around to the left. And up and down or anything. You know, it's all one dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time they release something for Super Smash or the new Zelda game that's got a big open world, and Mario Kart, is it 8? Or is it just Mario Kart?
Mario Kart 8 it just came out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every time they release that, I'm like, kind of need a Wii U because it seems pretty fun.
Well, they've already announced characters like Pac-Man for the Super Smash Brothers game.
Yep.
And Mega Man. They're getting like the classics in there. They've got the guy from Punch-Out, if you've...
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, which is really cool. And then they just announced 2 new characters from the... Well, 3 new characters from the Fire Emblem universe.
Which is a game I have never played.
Me either. But if you've ever played Super Smash Brothers before, at least starting from the GameCube one on up, you get Marth. And I think Ike was in the first one. Roy.
No, Roy.
And then
Ike
they
was
changed
in
it
the
to
second
Ike. Yeah, so it started out with Roy, and then they changed Roy to Ike and made him a little bit different.
But now Roy's back.
Is Roy back?
Yes, he is back in this one.
Oh, well,
so
what do you know?
It's Marth, Roy, Ike, and the new ones.
The new ones are Lucina, which is a female version of Ike.
Pretty much. He has the same kind of attacks, at least on the reveal trailer
and
that I was looking at.
The new one that they have that's kind of a newish character is Robin. Now, Robin looks like he is kind of a spellcaster.
From Batman. So Jiminy Jillikers, is that one, like, does he yell that when he attacks?
Nope, still from Fire Emblem.
Oh, darn.
Although Batman and Robin included in Super Smash Brothers would make the geeks go crazy.
They need to make... I really enjoyed Injustice, but it could have been so much better if they made it like Super Smash. It would have been a blast.
I would have played that up and down. Robin
and left and
like...
right, because you're going left and right.
Yes, exactly.
And A and B.
And
X and Y.
Yep. Over A, down A.
L and R.
Up A, over B, down B, up B.
Select.
B. Yeah, select. Z grab. Anyway, God, we need to play Super Smash Brothers again. Now I'm getting like a craving for it.
Maybe we should go buy a Wii U and get the new Super Smash.
Oh, I don't have that money.
We'll figure out a way.
Go in on it, and then we'll decide when I move out who's gonna take it.
2 days at your house, 2 days at my house, 2 days at your house.
Yeah, that's fine with me. But the new character Robin, he looks like kind of this wizardy character. He's got a spell book that he casts spells from, but eventually the spell book runs out, which is a really cool feature. And then he has to use his little curvy lightning sword.
Yeah, I saw that kind of channels lightning, and it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. The one thing I'm not excited for is they have the Wii Fit trainer as a character you can play as.
But look at the other characters that we were super skeptical about. Ness.
Mr. Game & Watch.
When they announced Ness, I was like, really? I mean, I've played Earthbound a little bit.
Well, technically, Ness was in the first one where you didn't even... never mind. I'm thinking me.
Yeah. Well, Neth, I played Neth. I played Earthbound, and I never really cared much for it. You know, it just didn't really pique my interest. So when they announced it, I went, whatever. But as soon as I started playing him, and I realized how much fun he was, I actually had a lot of fun with him. And then, like you said, Mr. Game & Watch, I went, who the heck's that? I've never heard of Mr. Game & Watch or anything, along those lines or anything.
Yeah.
So maybe the Wii Fit trainer will be a lot of fun. Maybe you have to do like 20 jumping jacks in front of everyone else that's playing just to get her to do an attack. Maybe it's like Mario's way of bringing fitness to the Super Smash Brothers geeks.
You know what? That's fine. Like all the Smash Brothers get together. They're like, we included Wii Fit trainer just because Donkey Kong was gaining a few pounds.
Now Bowser's a big fatty over here.
All right, what was that?
Let's
fight.
Look at Pac-Man. He was all slim and 2D, and now he's all chunky and 3D. And
it's all those dots he's been eating, man.
Kirby's got a classic overeating problem.
True. That's true. And he gets if he eats the wrong thing, he gets really weird.
Yes, it's really weird.
Kind of like my stomach after Mexican food. Last bit of news we have today. Back in July 1st, the company who makes Age of Empires, who recently came out with a game called Age of Empires Online. I think it was just Microsoft, yeah. But Age of Empires Online came out, and it was a free-to-play game that you got to buy factions with and everything, and people liked it.
Yeah.
You know, but they stopped production on any new content on it a while back.
Sure.
Came out in 2011, I think. 2013.
Makes sense from a a company standpoint. If you're not making any money on it from like microtransactions or things like that, there's no point in continuing to create for it.
So I think that was like 2013 when they stopped creating new content.
Okay.
And July 1st, 2014, they came out and said we're shutting down the servers.
I saw a friend of ours wanted, was
Every
signing
podcast we gotta mention.
Oh my gosh. We need to get more friends.
Yeah, we do.
I don't know. That's a lot of work. Yeah. Maybe not.
We'll just stick with the 12 of you guys. Hi.
I think there's now 13.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah, I think we got a new one.
Yeah, lucky number 13.
Okay. But there's this huge petition going around now of people trying to bring back Age of Empires Online.
I have a feeling that it won't happen. At least not from Microsoft.
Nope.
Microsoft being a company that makes, they make products to make money. And if they're not making money off this product, they're not going to put any money into it to keep the servers afloat. However, I could see them coming out with a play online with your friends, but you link up directly. So whoever starts the game becomes the server.
Minecraft style.
Minecraft does it. Space Engineers do it. A whole host of other games do this. Or they can release the way to build a dedicated server. So maybe some other company that runs a lot of game servers has some little extra money. They can bring one up, have a lot of people play, because it's not like Age of Empires you play with 100 people online. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that's what it was. I think it was
I thought it
you
was
played with a couple friends
online
and
games. Yeah, I think it was just single games.
So I could see them making a patch or releasing a patch, or someone even in the modding world making one. Some person that's really smart, really loves the game, making their own patch to make it so that all you got to do is start the game up and you become the server, so everyone else can connect to you.
So that sounds about right to me. So to all you Age of Empires Online players out there,
start modding.
Yep, best of luck to you. I hope you guys can get something.
I enjoy Age of Empires. Used to play it a lot when I was younger. Haven't played it so much lately, of course.
I think that was the first real-time strategy game I played. No. StarCraft was, but Age of Empires
was one of the first for you,
because one of our friends who lived up in Tremont, and we only went to visit every now and then, had the demo for it, and we used to sit down and play that demo like crazy because we thought it was the coolest game ever, and eventually we just bought it. That's all I have for news. Do you have anything else for news?
No, I mean, we covered everything. You talked about new Captain America, girly Thor,
girly Thor.
Thor. If Marvel does the whole, oh, you made Thor break her nail, she's pissed. I hope they don't do that stuff. That's ridiculous. Come on, Marvel, don't do that. Don't do that at all. And the only other thing I was going to talk about was Ultron on the magazine cover, but we did that it was Entertainment Weekly, by the way.
Right, I didn't mention that.
Yeah. So if you get it, you've already seen it. If you haven't, you can go to their website and it's there. You can see the cover of Tony Stark and Captain America,
both in their new suits, by the way, which look pretty good too.
Yeah, and then you can also see Ultron kind of behind him. And
I should clarify, their new suits are not like brand new; they're just variations on their normal suits.
Or maybe they're new
normal.
I mean, they fight a lot of supervillains. I'm sure they have to buy a whole bunch of new clothes.
Better go to Big and Tall and Superheroes.
Big and Tall and Indestructible.
Yep.
I'm gonna patent that name and then talk Marvel into dropping a Big and Tall and Indestructible in every single major city scene, so that when the city gets leveled, the only building that still survives is the costume shop for all the superheroes.
Big and Tall and Indestructible. Nice. All right, I think we should get into trailers then.
Absolutely. So trailers this week. First one that I want to talk about is for all you Whovians out there. We got.
I can't do that.
I can't do it either.
Yeah.
But if you're a Whovian, you know what it is. The Doctor Who Series 8 full trailer is out with Stephen Capaldi? Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi. I couldn't remember. Peter Capaldi, he's the 12th Doctor.
12th or 13th. I think we have this.
The 12th.
Are we sure?
Yeah, he's 12.
Okay, because I thought there was some confusion about.
No, Eccleston was 9.
Tennant was 10.
Tennant was 10. Smith was 11.
Okay.
So Capaldi's 12. And so it's got a full trailer. It's got like kind of shows all the different stuff that's coming out in the new series. It looks pretty awesome. It got me a little bit more jazzed up to go watch some more and get caught up.
I'm actually pretty excited for it, and I'm not a big Whovian.
Yeah,
So,
I know you are. I mean,
yeah,
I've tried to get you to sit down and watch them, and you a lot of times you'll watch for just a short little bit, and then you'll end up doing something else.
I'm just saying, Red Dwarf is better.
Red Dwarf did it better.
Yeah,
except for they didn't do it first.
That's true, actually.
That was Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So there's that. It looks really good. Doctor Who.
It looks like the Doctor's a little bit darker in the series, to be honest.
I think it's gonna be maybe more serious. It's gonna be more serious threats and less goofiness.
Which I think we've been getting him going towards that way. If I'm not mistaken, that Eccleston was kind of the goofier Doctor. Tennant was still kind of goofy, but he was serious half the time. Yep. And then when we get into
Matt Smith, to me, at least from what I've seen, he seems kind of broody.
Yeah,
I haven't seen enough to really make it a real good decision, but just from the few little bit, he seemed kind of broody. So maybe Capaldi's going to be that way as well.
Yeah, and the other thing about Capaldi is they've been going younger and younger with these Doctors until Capaldi. Yeah. Like he's back to the kind of the older style of Doctor, which may not sit well with the new Whovians. The new Whovians who have been in since Eccleston, where that's their first Doctor for them, kind of have seen this like young, attractive, oh, the girls love him, you know, look at the love interest story. And
it makes me wonder, do old Gallifreyans, which is his race, or I think Time Lords basically, do old Time Lords have problems with breaking hips? Does the Doctor have 4 hips? Like he has 2 hearts. Does he have 4 hips?
He just has double of everything.
So he can break 1 or 2 of them and be okay.
My eye got poked out. Good thing God see fit to give me 3 spares. That's a little 300 joke for y'all out there.
And so there's that and that's pretty much the only TV trailer besides the Gotham ones we mentioned a little earlier. They're coming out. They look cool. Doctor Who looks cool. Like I said, I'm pretty excited. The next trailer that I wanted to talk about is Big Hero 6.
Yay! Full trailer.
Yes, the full trailer. And it got me very excited for it.
Good. I'm glad.
From I think it was on the first podcast we talked about.
We talked about this last podcast too.
Yeah, how I don't really know much about it. I have no idea. And then I see this and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm excited for this now. It looks good. It's gonna be more of a kid movie, but it's actually, from the trailer at least, it looks like there's some pretty dark stuff in it. Maybe darker than most other Disney shows that come out,
which would be really cool. And
the different change of pace.
In addition, Disney actually put out kind of a synopsis of the characters and their names, who the voice actor is, and kind of what their power sets are. So you can go out onto the internet and find that. Those posters that we promised when we first talked about Big Hero 6 that we never got put up because they got taken down.
They were leaked rather than actually officially released.
So now they're back up and Disney's okay with it. So you should go out and check it out.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get some on the Facebook
super excited.
Page.
Baymax and Hero seem to have a good dynamic. Baymax is obviously going to be the breakaway star. He's going to be the funny one and everything like that.
He's going to be the Hulk of it.
Yep.
I'm just going to call the one, whoever takes over the show is just going to be, he's going to be hulking it. He's going to be hulking the show.
Yep. Although the only problem that I have with the trailer is the inclusion of the Fall Out Boy song, Light 'Em Up. I heard that come on and I was like, oh, the song's already overplayed.
I didn't even notice.
Really?
To be completely honest, I didn't even not notice at all.
Well,
but now I will. Now
sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
You ruined it for me. Now every time I see that trailer, that's all I'll think about.
Yeah.
Is that
Let's
song.
see. That's one thing I've ruined for you compared to the 7 or 8 things you've ruined for me.
Yeah, I have a habit of doing that for you.
Like the lady in Warehouse 13 who doesn't move her upper lip.
Yeah.
Oy. Sorry for everybody out there.
But I say that kind of stuff as more of like an observation. Be like, oh, that's kind of interesting. She doesn't move her upper lip when she talks.
And it just ruins it for me.
You know? I mean, she Christian Baled it. That's what she does. It's just like just like the newer Batmans. Just upper lip doesn't move. It's just a big lisp thing. Big.
Where's the artifact?
Show me where Warehouse 13 is. Okay, so there's Big Hero 6. I'm excited for it. Hopefully it comes out. Did it say when it was coming out? I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's coming out sometime in November.
Okay.
Like it's
not too far away.
Not too far away, which is really good because I want to see this movie really bad.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where Marvel goes with, or where Disney and Marvel goes with some of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe they'll do a
Runaways. Yes.
Maybe they'll do a Runaways.
That would be really cool.
The next one I wanted to bring up is a new movie coming out called Kite. It's got Samuel L. Jackson in it
as Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, he walks around with a kite and he attacks people with it.
Yeah,
and he throws keys at him as well. He's got like brass knuckles, but instead of brass knuckles, they got keys all over him.
Oh my gosh!
And he ties people up with his kite and then he punches them.
This sounds like an amazing fighting character.
I kind of want a movie now of Benjamin Franklin, like protector of the world or something like that.
This is Benjamin Franklin out of time, and he is pissed.
But it's a story based off an anime.
Okay.
And I can't remember what the anime is called off the top of my head.
Kite?
No, it was something else. It was a different anime. Maybe it is.
I don't know.
I don't know. The main character is actually a girl in it, and she's going about getting revenge.
Not Chloe Moretz.
No, not Hit Girl.
Not Hit Girl for once.
But she doesn't look too young. I mean, she looks in her, late teens, early 20s at least.
I'm sure she's over 18.
Yeah, well, so there's that. And it looked really good. It looked really interesting. And I just saw it today. It just came out. Just saw it today. I don't know when the trailer came out for sure, but that's when I picked it up.
Couple days ago,
and it looks really good actually. But that's pretty much all I want to say about it. If you want to go see it, just go see the trailer. It's pretty nice.
It's going to be rated R, but it looks like it could be kind of a good revenge movie.
Looked like a lot of fun.
Yep,
looked like a lot of fun to me. Lucy has been releasing a ton of trailers and red band trailers and TV spots and extended scenes, and every time I see one, I get even more and more excited for this movie coming out.
I think it's great. We're finally getting a female superhero movie.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, ish.
Yeah.
I mean, if you consider Chronicle a superhero movie.
Yeah, I would.
Which a lot of people do, and that's what the director wanted to do.
Oh.
And so we'll get Lucy, which is also a female superhero movie. So, and it looks really good. There's a lot of those out there. You can find them all over YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that.
I'm refraining from watching too many of them, just because I don't like getting spoiled as much as you do.
Yeah, I don't mind it too much.
Well, you just like to see the footage as it comes out,
Yeah.
You'll still watch the movie and enjoy it, and so will I, even with what I've seen. But
I know I had to twist your arm basically to get you to watch the Captain America 4-minute footage. And guess what? We watched it, and they didn't even. They
cut out huge.
Yeah, they cut out huge sections of it that were actually fairly important or fairly cool.
Yeah.
And I thought that we had seen the whole first scene, and sure enough, we had seen hardly any of it.
Maybe 30%.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. So I hope they do stuff like that in the future.
I'm hoping so too, and I'm sure we're going to see that with these extended Lucy trailer scenes where we only see certain parts of it.
A short little bit of it, and there's a lot of stuff in between they're cutting out. Yeah. The only other thing that I saw this week that was kind of cool, it's not really a trailer, but a person made a Futurama cityscape and the Planet Express ship in CGI, computer generated. Yeah. So not cartoon like the actual Futurama show is.
We've been watching Futurama lately. I think we're like 3 seasons in.
3 or 4 seasons in, yeah.
And it's a brilliant TV show. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it.
Power watch it on Netflix.
And
it's great.
Look for all the subtle like phrases and signs. Oh my gosh.
They have so many signs all over the place that have funny stuff on them that I never caught through the first thing. And I'm going to have to rewatch it even again after and try to look just for those because there's so many of them out there.
I think the latest one had a sign that said square root of 66.
Yeah.
They were on a space highway.
Yeah. And it's so, and they're so brief. They're like half second in the screen and then they're gone.
It's
and
really cool.
You miss them if you're not looking at them. But this person, I don't know if it was a kid or not, I almost said this kid, but I think just whoever made this Futurama CGI test shoot, and it's just got this CG screen. It's got like a holographic version of Mom's old-fashioned robot oil sign and stuff, and then the Planet Express ship comes and flies. It's really cool. Check it out. We'll throw it up on the Facebook page as well, and for a link on that. But it's really interesting.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and get into our review this week. We went out to a movie, actually.
Surprise, surprise. Yay. We go almost every week.
Except for the last 2 weeks when
we go to the movies so you don't have to.
But still go to the movies because it's fun. And go to the movies and go see Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
The hardest movie name for me to say and or type in a message to someone.
Dawn of the
Planet of the Apes. I just... it's such a cumbersome.
Let's see. Let's try and acronym that.
DotPotA.
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 So we went and saw DotPotA this weekend, and I personally loved Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
I did too.
RotPotA.
Really RotPotA.
I liked RotPotA, and I was excited for this movie. We get to see a lot more Caesar, a lot more Caesar, intelligent Caesar, and all the other intelligent apes in kind of a post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah, it's felt something like
it should have been The Walking Dead after the zombies had all died.
It's something like 10 years after the simian flu outbreak started, and that was, if you remember from RotPotA, the one guy gets the bad nosebleed, he gets exposed to it in the laboratory, and he ends up contaminating the world.
He infects a guy who ends up going to the airport, and well, you know what happens when you go to the airport.
It goes everywhere.
I think there's like an outbreak. By the way, I heard about this outbreak in Africa that's heading into Europe that they fear might spread into the entire world of some diseases. Only got like a 10% survival rate.
Oh, geez.
And it made, like, after watching Dota, I was like, or DotPa.
DotPotA.
DotPotA. Yeah.
DotPotA.
I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't want to leave the house now.
In other news, sales of surgical masks skyrocket. That's kind of what you're going for.
Which apparently surgical masks don't help after they get moist.
Yeah, once you cough the blood into them, it just kind of leaks through.
But Dawn of the Planet of the Apes has a surviving human population of people who were immune to the simian flu. Like basically everybody who was not immune to the flu
genetically
is dead.
Yeah, all the people that are surviving are genetically immune to it,
which happens with a lot of viruses.
That's pretty much. There's always a percentage of the population that is immune naturally, and without any kind of vaccination or anything, and they're just completely immune, and so they survive.
Yep.
And then you have a thriving ape population. You've got gorillas, orangutans, and just regular monkeys. Yeah, just regular apes.
Yep.
I don't know what kind of apes they are. Because they're not like chimpanzees, because they're way too big
No, they are chimpanzees. That's exactly what they are.
Oh, okay. They seem a little bigger than normal.
They do seem a little bigger than normal.
Yeah, because they're almost as big as like some of the gorillas that are in
Maybe
there.
They're like a bigger version of chimpanzees. Who knows?
I'm not sure. I'm not Jane Goodall. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you for sure. It was a great movie. There's a lot of conflict between the two. Personally, it was so frustrating. There's so many scenes in it that I'm like, just don't do that. Nope.
Don't be racist. Don't be ignorant.
Don't be a jerk. Oh, you just ruined everything.
Why?
You just started Ape War 1.
Yep. And there's a lot of cool moments. I think that Andy Serkis needs to get an Emmy nod, at least a nomination, if not a win.
Portrayal of Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't care if he is CG for the most of it. Those are his eyes and his mannerisms and his speech and everything.
The CG in it is one of the best I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
I can't think of many other movies that match it as far as quality and detail levels go.
Yep.
The very first scene, which you've seen this in the trailer, so this is not really a spoiler, they zoom out of Caesar's face, and it starts with his eyes, and it zooms out, and in the trailer it just cuts and stops.
Yeah.
But you see, that's all CG. It's first of all, it's Andy Serkis' eyes, and then they CG everything else around it, and it looks fantastic.
They have really
Very
great.
detailed.
The best line in the movie goes to Maurice, the orangutan,
Yeah.
when he
You don't hear him talk at all, but then he turns to him at one point and says, "Run." And that's it. And I loved it. That's the best line
It's
in the
so
movie.
brilliant. Now, one thing I wanted to talk to you about, and we talked about this a little bit leaving the theater, but I wanted to bring it up again. The wife of Caesar is Judy Greer, which is the Cheryl or
Off of
Carol
Archer.
off of Archer.
Uh-huh.
And she's been on some other stuff. She's a really funny actress and everything. She
She's a
doesn't
cute
talk.
cute redhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, she talks none, and you don't even know her name.
Yeah, you barely. I mean, until the credits, when they say her name in the credits, you don't know who she is. Just that she's Caesar's wife.
That was one thing I did have a complaint, is the female leads in it were nearly non-existent.
There was one.
There was two.
Oh well, yeah.
There was two, and that screaming lady in the crowd that was like, "Now what?
Why didn't you tell us about these apes?
Yeah, and but the other two that actually talk during the movie, well, the one that talks, and then Caesar's wife that
Who
plays,
signs?
who signs, yeah, and actually they can't see you signing.
This
This isn't
the,
signing. You're just wiggling your
this
fingers.
This is the deaf podcast. Didn't you know that?
Is that, or are we catering to that too? We have
Yes.
this is like podcast braille that you're trying to do.
Gosh,
Because all you're doing, if anyone could read sign language in this household, all you're doing is wiggling your fingers, and they're probably like, "What did you call my mother?"
All right. Bump, no bump, bump.
Oh gosh. Okay. Anyways,
3 bumps in a square.
square.
Yeah, that's how they do sign language. They do ... Like they do it in squares and stuff.
No. You said 3 bumps. I thought you said 3 bumps and a square.
No, in a square.
Oh, okay. What does that mean?
I think it's like the letter B or something. Like
Okay.
that. Anyway,
Well,
I
we
don't-
should learn braille before the next podcast,
Yeah.
and then we can figure.
We
that
should just
out.
learn Morse code too for all you Navy folk out there.
Yeah, we can do Morse code on the podcast as well.
Tap 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 tap.
Don't
tap,
tap the
I'm
microphone.
not going to tap the microphone.
But anyways, the female leads were just non-existent. They're boring. Didn't really care much for them at all. The human female lead, don't even remember her name.
Yeah, like it was said a couple times, I'm sure, in the movie. But most of the time when the humans were on screen, I was going to get back to the monkeys.
Back to the monkeys.
Back to the
Exactly.
monkeys.
Yeah.
Apes,
They did
sorry.
focus on the apes more than the humans, which was great.
Yeah, which is what it needs to be. I think going forward, Planet of the Apes needs to be about the apes. Nobody gives a crap about the humans.
The humans, they had their chance.
Yeah.
They had their chance. It kind of messed
Sorry,
part of the
humanity.
world up.
You screwed it up.
Yep. And so then the apes took over. And now they get their chance to be the
Yeah,
rulers
and
of the planet.
I think them creating their own society would be a better movie than the guy coming back from the space station. And
So how many? See, what should our rating system be? How many geek cards do you give it?
oh, well, we're doing
out
geek
of-
cards
out of
instead
5.
stars. Yeah, that sounds good. I give it 4.5 because it wasn't. There were some problems. You're right. The female characters could have used a little bit more.
Still a pretty high rating.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's not a good movie. I would say on the sequel scale that we have, I would say it's a full ape, if not an ape harder.
Okay. And for those of you just joining us, our scale goes, if you have a sequel, it's full, harder, or
Well,
the
harder is the top.
ruining.
Yeah, the ruining.
Yeah, the ruining. So you go, from top to bottom, if it's better than the previous one, it's harder. So it'd be like Iron Man 3, Iron
Man.
harder,
Yeah,
or something.
Man harder.
Man harder. Or if it was the same, it'd be Iron Man 3, full Iron
Iron.
Man. If it was worse, it'd be Iron Man 3, the
The ruining. Yep. So I would give it a full, at least a full, if not a harder.
I agree on the sequel scale. Probably give it a 4 out of 5
Geek cards. Okay.
on Geek Cards.
You're a little bit lower.
A little bit lower, mainly because I didn't want to be the same as you. But no,
I'm sorry I stole your high rating.
But there was,
Why didn't you go up?
it was very frustrating for me personally. Just there was a lot of frustrating scenes, and it wasn't a bad frustrating because it was really good camera work, really good storyline.
Oh, yeah.
But I was just so frustrated through the whole thing. There's so many things that characters do.
A lot of the
that I'm
times you're like, just talk. You'll get along. I promise.
yes, just be like, oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Apologize.
Well, Scott, arguments are prevalent in any society.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it's human versus ape or geek versus geek. And our topic of the week this week just so happens to be Geek versus Geek.
Geek.
Yep. We like that segue. That was a good
That
segue.
was a good segue.
Yeah, and I just ruined it by mentioning the
That was
segue.
a good segue.
Yeah.
And it had two wheels and rolled around like everything. There are lots of, like you said, lots of arguments out there in every aspect of life. You got politics, you've got religion, you've got countries fighting over who owns what land and stuff like that.
And then you've got trivial things like Batman versus Superman.
Then you've got, well, only trivial to people outside the culture.
That's true.
For us geeks, those are big arguments. They're big, important things. We get so passionate and excited about these things that you end up arguing. I've been known to do it. I've argued with other people about geek stuff that,
our cousin argues geek stuff a lot.
Yeah,
And
he likes to argue.
This will be a test to see if he's still listening
He
to the
actually listens
podcast.
to podcasts. But so when a geek gets passionate about something, and I think that's the definition of a geek, at least the best one I found, is someone who is so passionate about some subject that they want to share it with everyone. And you can geek out about anything. You can be a geek of comics, a geek of movies. You can
be a sports
music
geek.
a sports geek.
Yeah.
You can be a tabletop game geek, a computer geek,
Or any combination of them.
A crafting geek if you like to craft and stuff.
I know plenty of people who are both a sports geek and a tabletop geek, Like it's really, there's not a limitation. You don't have to pick one and stick with it.
So people get so excited and enthusiastic about whatever topic, and when they run into someone else that's excited or enthusiastic about the same topic, usually something comes up that they have a difference of opinion on, whether it be which superhero's the strongest, which
Doctor is the best Doctor
which is
Who.
the best Doctor Who,
Which Star Trek is the best series.
yeah, which is the best Star Trek,
Is the Abrams better than the original?
or is Star Trek better than Star Wars, or vice versa? You'll get people that argue all that kind of stuff.
Who's the better comic company? There's so many things that geeks fight about, and it usually turns and this is mostly internet, not so much real life, because real life everybody's face to face and politer.
Yeah,
but the internet,
usually, not always, but usually.
The internet is full of anonymity. Nobody knows your real name. Nobody knows where you live. You can say whatever you want on the internet and get away with it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen many an internet argument that starts off very civil and polite, and all it takes is one person to start calling the other people names, or, something bad, or say something like, "Oh, Star Trek's the stupidest thing I've ever seen," or something like that. And everyone just flips out. All of a sudden, everyone just loses their crap, and the next thing you know, it's
a flame war.
It's a tirade of, of name calling.
Go into WoW, and you'll see general chat is full of that kind of crap.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk today a little bit about different geek fights and what geek arguments, like how to properly have a geek argument would be a nice,
or at least
topic.
Politely, because I wouldn't say there's
no proper way.
There's no proper way.
I mean, outside of an official debate.
Yeah. Yeah, and even then, debates can get pretty hairy sometimes.
I would say the first step in arguing in anything.
Well, real quick, I want to pause and say that this was actually brought up by a friend of mine.
That's right,
Alex, from Facebook. He said,
"Hi, Alex."
Hi, Alex,
as we like to call you, Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. He said he's been getting in a lot, and this is going to lead into our first major battle that seems to happen a lot in geekdom. And he said he's been getting a lot of arguments of Batman versus Superman. Who would win? Who's the strongest, etc. And there is lots of opinions from both sides of things, and it all depends also on, if you're a real big fanboy or of one or the other, or fangirl in this case as well.
Fan person,
fan geek. If you're a real big fan geek,
fan.
If you're a fan. So he brought this up to us and said he wanted us to discuss it. So that's why we're discussing it mainly. So thank you, Alex. Good job. Yeah. If anyone else has any other questions like this,
we'll tell you how to submit them at the end. I did that last time, and we were kind of like, oh, well, I guess everything's going to be broken up. So let's get into Batman versus Superman really quick. And I would say, going back to what I was saying before, the first point that you should always have with any geek argument is research. We must do research.
Okay, Jackie Chan's dad.
Yeah. You have to, if you want to actually put a good argument out, have something to back it up. Don't just start spouting random facts about physics and Thor's hammer if you know nothing about physics.
Yeah. So Batman versus Superman, usually the main argument is who would win in a fight. If both of them met up and they were both mad at each other and they weren't best pals like they are in the comics and they went at it, who would win in a fight? And you've got people on one side that say, "Oh, Batman would win.
He's the most intelligent and he plans for everything.
He's the master strategist. He always has something up his sleeve." And then you got the other side of the thing, which is Superman would win. He's super fast, super strong, can shoot lasers to melt your brain. I mean,
he's overpowered.
Okay, if you think
he's overpowered.
He used to be basically in Silver Age comics.
Yeah. So, for the sake of our Batman versus Superman fight, the first thing that I would like to bring up is that Batman has won before. And he has won in The Dark Knight Rises Part 2. Or, well, technically, that's the movie version of it, but the comic, he does the same thing, where he goes up against Superman, he's got the mech suit, he's had time to prepare, which is the crux of the argument, is if Batman has time to prepare, he can pull it out.
Yeah, pretty much against anyone. If he can prepare. So therein lies one of the problems. Usually when people start arguing about this stuff is they just start arguing.
Yeah.
They don't lay down any ground rules. I love when I get into any kind of argument, I like to clarify stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so Batman and Superman are going to go at it. They're going to fight to the death.
Where are they fighting?
Where are they fighting? Did they just get teleported there magically with no preparation, no time to prepare?
Well, if it's magic, then Batman definitely wins.
Well, I'm not saying
Superman would
that.
get shredded in the teleportation.
No, he would not.
But this is the kind of stuff that you have to watch out for, is people will try and bait you.
Yeah. They'll start making straw man arguments and try to make arguments. Oh, well, you're saying this.
Well, Hitler would have rooted for Superman.
Yeah. So you have to clarify how that's going to happen. And so every time I like to do any kind of fight, try to figure out, okay, so we're going to pit Batman versus Superman against him. Are we going to put them in an arena together? They're both kind of bloodlusted. They just want to rip each other's throat out. They don't really, they don't really have any time.
They don't have any time for morality. Or
They're not going to be there. Batman never kills, Superman never kills, that kind of thing. They're just in there to fight. That's the only reason behind them. And then you have to clarify, at least for Batman, does he have any kind of time to prepare?
Yeah.
If he has time to prepare, and it all depends on how much time. If he's got a month or a year to prepare, he's probably going to win. He's going to come up with some kind of solution to beat Superman down. If he gets like a day to prepare, maybe not, because Superman has won against people that use kryptonite. In fact, a lot of his villains use kryptonite.
But Metallo is charged by kryptonite.
He beats him almost every time. He's weak against magic, but he's not. It doesn't just instantly win. It's a lot of times he's weakened, but then he pulls it out.
I will point out, since we are arguing this point, Batman has been trained by Zatanna and her father Zatara. I'm assuming they taught some sort of backwards magic that he doesn't ever use.
I don't know if you can allow that, because has he ever used it before in a comic book?
I would have to cite it, and that is a good point with geek arguments. You have to be able to cite your references.
Also, we need to clarify: are we going off the movies, the live action movies? Are we going off the animated movies? Are we going off a combination of both? Are we going off just the comics?
Right, because if we're going off just the comics,
each one gives them a new set of rules and power sets. So I mean, if you're going to argue with someone about Batman versus Superman, or Superman versus Thor, or Iron Man versus Captain America, or Captain America versus Batman, Spider-Man versus Batman, I mean, any number of them out there.
Yep.
You need to sit down and do a clarification, try to figure out what your rules are for the fight and what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to be arguing till you're blue in the face, back and forth, over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, which I have done before to people
who just won't get it
people
in their
that
head.
Well, people that won't they don't like the rules behind it. They like to just bring up random stuff and say, well, this happened. I was like, well, that's been retconned out of the comics, or that's in a movie that we're not even talking about, that kind of thing, or that's in a fan fiction you read online somewhere.
Like if so with the Batman and Superman argument, did they get teleported somewhere with a yellow sun or a red sun?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good point, because I mean, if it's, and then you got to wonder, how long does Superman's powers stay charged? Oh yeah, blue suns supercharge him, don't they?
Yeah, he supercharges him.
Yeah, you got to wonder how, like, do his powers get super, or like how long does he have before the red sun takes effect?
Yeah,
like, is it instant, like in some of the old cartoons, or is it gradual?
Like some of the comics. Some of the comics, he can go days.
Yeah, he can travel through space, passing by no sun whatsoever. Do the stars power him? What happens? You got to clarify these things in order to have a successful and fun argument.
Yeah, and therein lies the key word, fun. If you're not having fun in an argument, or I guess a discussion, because argument kind of has a bad connotation behind it, a negative connotation. If you're not having fun and you're just arguing for the sake of arguing, you should probably stop.
Yep.
Because one or the other is going to get upset, pissed off, and they're going to quit.
Yep.
Or they're going to rage quit. They're going to flip the table over on you or something.
We've had that happen.
Yes. We have a local comic shop nearby that we go to, and we have seen this arguments go and get
totally ballistic,
heated.
Yeah.
Like almost to the point of throwing punches.
This isn't like existential discussions either. This is rules, trying to figure out which rule applies, for magic game or a tabletop game.
So that's why a lot of those things have a third party,
a mediator, or a moderator. Both words, I think, are an arbiter. Ooh, I like that one.
An arbiter.
Point number 2: have an arbiter.
So always have fun. If you're not having fun, don't argue about it.
Yeah.
And everyone has their opinions, and they're all going to be. And there are a lot of people out there that no amount of fact or comics that you cite are going to change their mind on something. And that's
David Goyer is still going to think the Martian Manhunter is a stupid name.
Yep.
And She-Hulk is a porno comic.
Yep, apparently. Just so that the Hulk can have.
Here's a point about arguments. David Goyer's always wrong.
Yeah, I can say that.
In fact, if you make a bad argument about comics, you're Goyering.
Yep, you are Goyering. So that's a popular one, is you've got superhero versus or character versus from any other.
Who would win, Gandalf or Dumbledore?
Mario versus, the guy from Jumanji. I mean, anything, like anything.
That was like pulled out of nowhere.
Pretty much.
Which guy from Jumanji? Like the hunter?
The hunter dude.
Okay. I think the hunter might be able to pull it out.
I don't know. Mario can go through the plumbing.
That's
pretty
true.
Good.
He just comes up behind him.
And crack. Some other ones you've got, who's a better comic company, Marvel versus DC.
There's plenty of arguments for both sides.
I like the fact that they're both there, along with Dark Horse.
We should make a comic company.
Dark Hose.
Or Dork Hose.
Just spewing comics all over you.
Image is really good too.
Image is good. Yeah. I mean, you've got IDW, you've
Most
got
people
Boom
don't
Comics.
Like Zenescope.
Yeah, you've got Zenescope. They're okay. I mean, they have some okay stuff.
Yeah.
For your Whovians, you've got, who's your favorite Doctor? Who's your favorite Doctor Who villain?
Or who's the best Doctor?
Who's the best Doctor? Yeah. Because I guess favorites, I mean, anyone can have their favorites, but who's the best, is the ninth Doctor the best? Is the fourth Doctor the best? Is the, 12th Doctor, Capaldi, the best?
For you tabletop gamers out there, which magic color is the best? Which D&D class is the best? I know that I've had arguments about D&D classes before that I don't like and I don't think are very good. So there's plenty out there. Another big one, Scott, is Star Trek versus Star Wars.
Yeah, there's a lot of very diehard fans. We've got people that grew up watching the original Star Trek series, then the Next Gen, then Deep Space Nine, and so on and so forth. Voyager
Got
and
people
even
who
Enterprise.
grew up watching Star Wars.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's all they like.
They've seen everything the expanded universe has to offer. And the thing about Star Trek versus Star Wars is there's a lot of science fiction and physics on both sides of it. So you can say, oh, well, this cannon is more powerful than this photon torpedo. So obviously the Death Star would be better than the Enterprise. Or that wasn't a clarification. I don't know anything about any science. Don't get mad at me.
There's been a lot of, in fact, there are entire websites devoted to Star Trek versus Star Wars discussions, and they go over all these points. But there's another big one. So there's many different types. If you are a sports geek, and there are lots out there. I've met more than I knew with the whole World Cup stuff going on.
Go sports team.
Yeah. They, who's the best soccer team, or, if you're out in the real world, football, or, who's the best American football team, who's the best basketball team, who's the best player on these teams,
Is Rodman still viable?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't watch baseball.
You've got, even fashion geeks or car geeks. Let's talk about car geeks because neither of us are fashionable.
I don't know. We both have these Iron Man
that's
shirts
true.
on.
We're coordinated at least.
Coordinated
But
geeks.
car geeks talk about which engine motors.
Which company makes the best
yeah.
cars? Which engines are the best?
Is electric viable as a hot rod?
So there's all kinds of different fights out there, and you can geek out about pretty much any of them.
Yep.
One thing that's been really going on out in the world of geekdom is the argument of not gamer, but geek girls.
It includes gamer girls.
Yeah,
as well.
includes gamer girls because they're usually pretty geeky too, which is cool. But there's a lot of people that argue that there are no true geek girls.
Lie.
Which
Bold-faced lie.
That is a pretty bold-faced lie, but they like to argue about it. They like to argue that there's no such thing as a geek girl. They have arguments like they're only in it for the attention. Or they're only in it because it's popular at the moment.
I think a lot of the arguments are there's no beautiful geek girls.
Okay.
Like a lot of people are saying like, oh, the only geek girls actually out there are ones with the big round glasses or the weird hair and things like that. And and then any girl that is moderately attractive to very attractive who goes to a con and wears cosplay, or who goes online with her and takes a selfie with her game cube controller.
They're just in it for the attention. And they're out there. There's guys out there too probably that do it. Maybe not as much, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the level of geekdom of everyone in the world. It'd probably be a horrible life if I did. They could see everyone's geek level above their heads as they walk around. Actually, that would be kind of cool.
No, that would be really cool.
Never mind, take that back.
Tote board for everybody on their likes and dislikes. That would
pop up above their head like in the commercials where like the text speech bubbles pop up, but it's like this, and it's like geek level 6, likes comics, hates hates DC, likes Batman.
You walk in to be like, "Oh, hello, Mr. President. I didn't know you liked Dark Horse.
I didn't know I didn't know you were into anime hentai porn."
Gosh, I could see that from the president.
Yeah, or anyone,
really. Or anyone. Yeah, it's like that would be a bad thing on the tote board.
Hello, Mr. Pastor. That's supposed to be really nice. Oh, whoa.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna go now. Clear race. Yeah, but there are a lot of people out there that think they're in it for the attention. I know actually quite a few very attractive women that are super geeky.
My wife is one of them.
She is very geeky.
Yeah,
that is very true.
Thank you for avoiding saying she's attractive. I would have gotten worried.
That would have been weird.
Yeah, that kind of.
We're family.
Yeah, we're family now. But she's very geeky. She's bought more statues than I have. In fact, she's bought all of the statues that are currently hanging on our walls, or not hanging. we just hang them on a string. That's how we do statues they're hanging over our heads like a mobile. By
statues, you mean like Michelangelo?
Oh yeah.
David.
Absolutely.
Or
I thought you meant like the Ninja Turtle.
No.
No. She buys a lot of superhero statues. She's got a whole collection of Spider-Man villains.
She does.
And everything.
Walls full of them.
Yeah,
loves them. I've got a couple friends out there. One that I work with, she loves like all things Firefly.
Oh yeah.
loves the Firefly
You
thing.
can't take the sky from her, that's for
No,
sure.
definitely not. I've got another one who is a huge Marvel and Iron Man fan.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind when I hear her talking about something that, that I'm like, I didn't even know you knew that. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Now, I would say that a lot of this is coming recently because geek is getting more mainstream.
Yeah, it's becoming less and less of a taboo subject. Oh, you're geeky. What a weirdo. Yeah. Now it's more like, oh, cool, you like geek stuff too.
Yeah, it's like, I see people wearing Iron Man shirts that I look at them and I go, you're a jock. I know you're a jock. I can see you, like, you've got your Harley Davidson hat on and you're riding up on a bike, but you're wearing an Iron Man shirt. How cool is that?
Yeah. It's become way more mainstream, and it's not not anything that is a bad thing for people anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're a geek, because everyone's a geek about something.
Yeah.
I mean, that Iron Man guy probably likes Iron Man, maybe likes Iron Man and motorcycles because they kind of go hand in hand. Iron Man loves his toys, that kind of stuff. But
a big example of a geek girl that people accuse of being fake but isn't, I would say, is your favorite cosplayer ever.
Jessica Negri.
Yep. She plays, and she's very attractive, extremely attractive. I hope my wife is listening as I tell you how attractive she is.
She makes her living doing cosplay and attractive cosplays.
And a lot of people accuse her of being fake and everything, but I have never seen a more diehard League of Legends fan from anybody that I ever follow on Facebook.
She plays like all League of Legends and Diablo and World of Warcraft, and she plays all
Assassin's Creed.
She plays more games than we do.
Yeah.
I mean,
and we have a podcast about this.
We have a geek podcast about the stuff, and she out geeks us.
Yeah.
So yes, this whole argument of there are no real geek girls that's stupid.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you guys lose.
It's the whole there's no true Scotsman fallacy. Where a real Scotsman would do this or this, and you're always going to find someone that doesn't fit that category. A true geek girl isn't attractive. A true geek girl, plays lots of video games. A true geek girl
doesn't go shopping for clothes.
One of the main things that I want to bring up, in this whole geek girl problem that's been going around, there's been some real popular comic book writers that have wrote articles. Basically, I think this one guy, I can't remember his name, but he started it basically saying there's no true geek girls. He just says girls are popular.
I bet you it was David Goyer.
It probably was. Either way, he was channeling David Goyer.
He was Goyering.
He's Goyering. But one thing I wanted to bring up with this is a lot of times I think that if a girl is an attractive person and they are cosplaying or whatever, it can be very intimidating to the geek guys out there. Because I know this is more of like a media portrayal, but generally geeks, they're not always big and buff and
we're kind of scrawny or dumpy or
I mean, I all my geek friends, and sorry all you geek friends, I'm this way too. A lot of us are overweight. We might we might like
underweight
or underweight. Yeah. Super skinny, super pale skin. I've met. And so I think that there's this level of intimidation that happens.
I can sum it up in a Futurama scene that we saw.
Okay.
When they go on the internet for the first time and they go into a chat room and there's all these geeks standing around saying they're hot studs and they want
where's all the girls?
Yeah. And then Leela comes up and says,
I'm a girl.
I'm a girl. I'm a captain of a spaceship and I'm looking for a relationship. And all the geek guys go, a girl?
Oh my gosh, scared. Hold me.
So I'm sorry to all you geek guys out there, but just because you're intimidated does not give you an excuse to go online and troll somebody.
Yeah, it also turns a lot of geek guys, and I've noticed this both, at Comic-Con and in personal dealings with some friends, or maybe not close friends, because most of my close friends they're either married. You're usually married or you're dating someone that's pretty geeky too.
Yeah.
But acquaintances or people I meet out in the world, a lot of them, when they do meet a geek girl, because they're
in
intimidated,
a sexy cosplay outfit too,
even just like in the comic shop, and she's she's checking out the DC comics, looking through them and stuff, rather than just like starting up a casual conversation with them. They go way overboard. I don't know if it's nervousness or something, but they walk up and will say something like, "Oh, you like Birds of Prey? That's a stupid comic. This is because this guy. Did you know that he was really into bondage with Wonder Woman?" And they just kind of. And there's a lot of really awkward stuff that happens.
You say this like it's an exaggeration, but I can guarantee you it's not.
It's not.
I've heard a story about a guy who went to Comic-Con to sell some of his Star Trek books off. And this guy walks up to him and he picks up one of the Star Trek books and he goes, "I already own all of these." And he was trying to start a conversation, but we don't have very good etiquette. And instead of saying like, "Oh, I love all these books. I've read them all. Which one of these is your favorite? And why are you getting rid of them?" They could just come up and be like, "Oh, I have all these." And it's like, what do you say to that? "Okay, bye. I don't want to sell you a book then because you have them all."
Yeah, and so a lot of geeks will come on, overly strong, or they have no tact when they get talking about geek stuff.
Yep.
I mean, I've worked enough in the service industry and stuff like that I've got down that how to talk to people about stuff, even if I'm not super geeky about it, but I can get into it. And you have to do it every day in your daily lives. I mean, how many stories do you have to hear about, old people stuff, or things like that, or
you don't
politics
know how many
you don't care about.
Gosh, you don't know how many people I get talking about Obama. One of the things that helped me get to be very tactful when it came to geek stuff is back in the day I didn't show my geek. I was a closet geek for the longest time, all through high school, because I had seen TV shows and movies where the geek gets beat up.
Also, I went to high school 4 years before you. I never got beat up, but I wasn't super popular.
Yeah,
because I kind of let my geek flag fly. I was a computer geek, and I'd go and play tabletop games at lunch with other geek friends, and I got a lot of crap for it. And I'm not bitter about it because,
except for you, Johnny Moe, I'm coming to get you.
Yeah, one day you'll be pumping my gas, but no one ever does that.
No.
That's kind of a bad argument.
Yeah, that's a bad analogy.
But I'm not bitter about it because, in high school, everyone's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, all you high school friends out there, but we were all dumb. Mm-hmm. We didn't know anything about the world.
To any high schoolers listening who are geeks, don't worry about it, man. Seriously.
You're getting picked on.
Yeah.
It happens.
You want to know what's worse than a geek argument? A bully. And you want to know what's good about a geek argument? They get resolved better. Wait, no, that's a bad analogy. Bullies go away is basically what I'm trying to say. After high school's over, you're going to get out into the world and you're going to find a lot of people.
I've actually met a couple friends through Facebook and stuff like that have actually personally apologized to me.
Really?
Yeah, just one or two, not a ton, but they were like, we kind of made fun of you in high school, but sorry, we did just dumb. I was trying to be cool, act with all my friends. And I'm like, it's in the past, it's over with. And a lot of them now actually come to me for geek stuff. They're like, dude, I like comics. I like Iron Man. I love the movie. Where do I start? Yeah. Where do I go from here? And I give them a little advice on that. And I'm not, like I said, don't be bitter about it. But
I'm surprised. I always hear horror stories about people who were geeks, and it's like I kind of got through high school unscathed because I ended up sitting next to a lot of the people who would be bullies, and I was funny enough that they thought me one of their own. Yeah. I was like Jane Goodall with the Apes going back. I kind of adapt. I'm the chameleon. I adapt to anybody that I'm around.
I can just see you taking notes and be like, the alpha male pops his collar when talking to the alpha female.
The usual greeting.
They all like jokes about Mexicans. Interesting.
The usual greeting for this clan is, "What up, bro?"
Or "Yo, yo, yo, how's it hanging?"
Well, I think so, but I didn't really. Towards the end of my high school career, I kind of started showing it a little bit more. People would talk about a movie or a TV show, like Heroes was big back then, and they would be talking about it in class, and I'd kind of talk about it a little bit and compare it to X-Men and everything. Mm-hmm. But then once I hit 18, I met my soon-to-be wife, and she kind of sat me down and said, on our second date, she sat me down and we started playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance together, like a game that I'd never played before that she
And
had.
you turned to her and got on one knee and said, "Will you marry me?"
Yeah, but from that point on, I realized it's okay for me to be me, especially around, and I'm not saying that everybody's going to find that person who completely agrees with all their ideals. And you might just find somebody who doesn't argue or doesn't complain about your.
I guess the word would be
Tolerate,
tolerate.
yes.
Tolerate would be a good word.
And you'll find a lot more of that outside of high school. We're like getting all soapbox after school special here.
Well, trying to just bring it all back around. If you're a geek girl and you keep it inside because you don't want to be picked on or whatever, keep in mind.
Are you telling them to let it go?
Let it go. Don't start that
I
again.
thought you were going to start singing. I was like,
Nope.
Oh, I'm so glad we're recording right now.
Nope, I'm not going to ever sing on camera.
Dang it.
Maybe happy birthday.
We're not on camera.
On microphone.
By the way, Patrick Stewart's birthday was last Sunday.
Oh, happy birthday,
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart.
I hope you're listening.
What are you, like 32? I mean, guy doesn't age.
Yeah, would you share the fountain of youth already?
Yes, it's Earl Grey tea, hot.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. It keeps him young. But if you're a geek girl, whether or not you're attractive, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Just don't worry about what other people think. I mean, it's hard. It's easier said than done. But as soon as you let go and you start enjoying your fandom, you'll find a lot more people that actually enjoy it with you that you didn't know. I met a lot of people that were closet geeks, and then all I do is say one little thing about something, and they're like, "I love that show," or "I love that movie. It's so great," or something. Mm-hmm. And we'll get talking about it, and pretty soon I have a really, really geeky, good friendship with them.
Yeah, but
they may still be a closet geek, Yeah.
So I know one of your friends who is a closet geek.
I do too. Yep. I do too. He's sciencey, like science stuff. But I know to keep the peace with his workmates and stuff like that, a lot of times he won't bring up the geeky things, which is okay.
It's fine. You don't have to be. I'm not extremely geeky unless somebody starts talking about it. Yeah. Then my head comes around the corner and I'm like,
"Someone say movies?
Guys talking about movies?
Someone talking about movies?" That's why they banished you from the front room of your shop and told you you couldn't come up and bug everyone up there, because every time you heard movies, you'd
pretty much.
Around the corner. Movies? Someone say movies?
They pretty much, after I'm done with my usual route for the day, they take me to the back and they just chain me to the wall so that I can't come up there.
And you just yell like the Hulk, "Movies!"
I'm a movie werewolf. I think the last thing we should talk about is resolution. I think that the best way to end a discussion is a handshake and the words "agree to disagree."
Yeah, because a lot of times that's where it ends.
Yep.
It ends with "agree to disagree."
Believe it or not, you're not always going to get a good resolution to your argument.
And a lot of times, no one's going to be the, quote, winner, because everyone's got their own opinions on it. And especially when it comes to things that can't be proven, like who's a better superhero. Because one comic's going to pick a versus comic up, and they're going to make Iron Man win versus Magneto. And then the next comic, someone writes, it's going to be the other way around.
Yep.
So agree to disagree is a good way to resolve it. If it starts getting heated, a lot of times I'll just be like, "Hey, you know what? That's cool. If you want to, that's fine. Try to back away from it. Keep your friendship if you are friends.
I think the
if
basic tenet,
if it's a random comic shop guy, just nod and say, okay, and then I have to do that before. Wow, why are you getting that comic? That's stupid. That's dumb. Be like, I enjoy it. But why? It doesn't matter, man. I just enjoy it.
Yeah. I think the basic mantra for arguments is, can't we all just get along?
And don't be a dick, as Will Wheaton says.
Yes, as Will Wheaton says,
that's his motto.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect motto. Don't be a dick. If someone has a different geek opinion from you, then be cool with it. It happens. It's gonna happen all the time.
All right, Scott. Let's get into Batman versus Superman really quick. Answer Alex's question.
Okay. Set up our ground rules.
Alrighty.
Teleported into a ring.
Yep, Coliseum.
Coliseum or something, just on a desert or a desolated planet.
Yep.
No one else is around, under a yellow sun.
Yellow sun.
Okay,
Yep.
so Superman
agree
has
to
his
that.
regular powers. Okay, any prep time for Batman?
I would say maybe like a day's worth of prep time.
Days worth. Okay, so he probably has enough time to like get his kryptonite ring
Yep.
and things like that.
Yep.
Okay. So they both get teleported in. They're both super pissed off. They don't remember that they're friends, and all they want to do is tear each other's throats out. And so first thing they do is probably charge at each other.
Yep. I would say Superman
Gets to Batman really quick. Of
and
course, he's fast.
and at the same time, the first thing Batman probably does is pull out the kryptonite ring, or he's already wearing it.
Yep.
So Superman gets weaker.
So he can punch him a few times, do some damage.
Do some explosive charges, which I don't understand why Batman has explosive charges if he's trying to be non-lethal.
Yeah.
Like, I guess he has those against the heavy hitters only.
Yeah.
But maybe like shoves one of them in Superman's mouth.
If he can. I mean, Superman's always ran into stuff where kryptonite hits him and he gets weaker, but if he gets away from it, he gets stronger again. So, he goes in for a couple punches. Batman hits him a few times. He gets knocked away. Superman gets his energy back, realizes... Because Superman's not an idiot. People don't realize this. He's not an idiot. He's actually super smart. He's genius-level intelligence. And he always has been, but because he's so strong, he doesn't have to really think through. He just can run in and punch things. So he flies... In my opinion, it's Superman's best attack would be to fly way up into the sky and zap him with eye lasers,
Yeah, and that's the point I was going to bring up. Batman's beat Superman before in The Dark Knight Returns. That's all well and good. But Batman himself in the comics has even said, look, if it gets to a fight between you and me, it's going to end with you flying into space and lasering me till I'm dead.
Yeah.
So even Batman admits that Superman would win in some comics.
All Superman really has to do, and this is why a lot of people think he's overpowered, is to fly out in space, fly farther away from Coliseum, slam in, and destroy the planet.
Yep.
Done. Game over. Batman's dead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Batman can't survive in space.
Give Batman a week or two of prep time. He can make himself a
suit
made of kryptonite or something that can breathe in space. But even then, I don't know. Like, he's going to have to get in. He's going to have to get in when Superman charges him. He's going to have to get in like a gunshot or something to kill him. I mean, that's pretty much how you're going to take Superman out.
Yeah,
and that's why a lot of people don't like Superman, because they think he's too powerful, So
yeah, I think we're in agreement. I think we both think Superman
would probably win. Yep.
As much as I'd like Batman to pull it out against the big guy, I think that Superman's just too much of a powerhouse.
That's taking into account that our rules. They're not remembering each other.
Yep.
If they know who each other are, but they're still want to kill each other, Superman knows right away. I'm not going to fly in fast and kill him.
Yeah.
I mean, across the Coliseum, he just laser eyes and sorry, Batman, you just got a lobotomy.
You're gone.
So,
yep. So
I love Batman. I like Superman a little more.
Yeah, of course.
If you haven't noticed, but I'm willing to concede there are characters out there that will just destroy Superman.
Martian Manhunter.
Oh yeah, hands down. Thor, when he has the Odin Force.
I think Thor without the Odin Force, because he's vulnerable to magic.
That's true. That's true.
Which means Shazam might be able to beat him too.
Yeah, but he's not. Like I said, he's not. It's not an instant win. Like Kryptonite seems to be a pretty big vulnerability.
Like, that's an instant win.
Yeah, but magic. Superman basically goes, I hate magic.
Yeah. No more magic.
Yep, no more magic. So there you go.
Gosh,
there you
that's
go.
such a good comic.
There you go, Alex. We decided it for you. You make up the rules, and pretty much Superman wins almost every time.
If anybody has an argument, direct them right here.
Yeah. Send us an email. Go on the Facebook page, and we'll give you those at the end.
Yep.
All right. So pick of the week.
All right, pick of the week.
What is your pick of the week, Corey?
Speaking of Geek Girls, I have a webcomic that is amazing, that combines Geek Girls and superheroes, as well as like a more realistic style for superheroes. It's a webcomic called Girl Power, GRRL Power.com.
I love this webcomic as well.
It is amazing. If you're at all an anime fan, it's got enough of an anime flair to it that'll make you go, ooh, I like this. If you're not an anime fan, it's not
a manga.
too much. Manga. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, because it's not a TV show.
Yep, you're right.
So yeah.
The main character is a girl named Sydney. She is a geek girl in a comic book shop.
She owns a comic book shop.
She's partial owner.
She's partial owner to it.
And she has got a little special power in this world where superheroes are more and more
Starting to show up.
Yep. And she found these. Well, we won't spoil it for you, but she found something, and it's given her some cool superpowers without being like, oh, I was born with this, and so I'm super attractive and everything like that.
Marvel, take note. This is a comic that has a very strong female character lead.
Yep.
And multiple strong female characters.
I think
it's pretty much all female. There's very few men in the comic. Mainly like some side characters.
You know what? Most of the men are eye candy.
Yeah, pretty
I would
much
say
for the
that.
girls.
Yeah. And the author, the artist / writer, has a very good dialogue between characters. He comes up with some good jokes. He comes up with some creative ways of taking care of problems. And at the end of every comic, after you see the little strip, he's got explanations down the bottom of superpowers that have been going on, of characters that are showing up and who they are and what they do and everything. It's a great comic. It updates every Sunday and Thursday, and you need to go check it out. GRRLpower.com.
My pick of the week. I couldn't come up with something as good as Girl Power this week, but I've been really into Diablo 3.
Such a good game.
The new expansion came out, Reaper of Souls. I've since beat it, of course. Multiple times on multiple characters to get to a higher level. Yep. But you and I have both played, and your wife have played. Right now we're leveling some mages.
Yep, some
wizards. And so now we can always say a wizard did it.
Yep.
That's that's the rule. If you don't something unexplainable, a wizard did it.
Yep. So the three of us run around and shoot laser beams
and melt people's faces.
Yep.
That's my pick of the week. I've been loving it. If you haven't played Diablo 3, but you've played the previous Diablo 1, Diablo 2, I'm pretty sure you will love Diablo 3.
Now, a lot of people who played Diablo 3 didn't think it was as good as Diablo 2 back when it first came out. Go back and give it a try. Diablo 3 gives it a lot better legs at the end, because after you beat the storyline, it's not just go back and play the story again. You got your adventure mode that you just basically run around and do bounties, which are really cool, and it gives the game huge depth and a lot more fun to it,
and a lot more replay value. Yep. I played through Diablo 3, the first part. Once I got one character out to max, I pretty much got done with it, and after that, didn't really care too much. But now with the expansion, they've added a lot more content and stuff, and it's really fun.
Yep.
That's my pick of the week.
All right, let's get into challenges.
Okay.
Scott, did you do your challenge?
I did part of your challenge.
Okay.
You challenged me to listen to
the morning
stream,
which I realized after you told me it's not actually too geeky of a podcast.
Not really geeky.
It's a lot more pop culture talk radio. My apologies on that.
That's okay. That's okay.
For those of you who did stick out with the challenge, congratulations on making it all the way through.
I did about 2 to 2.5 episodes. That was time permitting. I had some stuff at work going on that I didn't have time to listen to it all. So, but it was a good podcast. I would have preferred it to be a little more geeky. But
next time I'll try and get you something.
Had you known I'd wanted geeky, maybe you would have picked something more geeky.
Yeah,
but,
I have a few others in mind.
I'd say I half completed it.
Okay. All right, we'll consider that a success. You get 5 achievement points instead of 10.
5 geek cards to me. How about your challenge?
Well, you know how you've been busy at work?
Uh-huh.
I've been busy at work too, so I haven't actually...
But you don't work 24/7.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of stuff that keeps me occupied throughout the week.
Sure.
So I have not watched any Battlestar Galactica yet.
Womp womp womp.
Womp
You
womp
failed.
womp. Oh.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
You failed.
I'm going to continue. If you want, we can just carry this challenge over into next week.
I knew you hadn't watched it because you hadn't said anything about it. So I'm still challenging you to it. I don't think you need to.
Do we want to just reduce it to like 1 episode?
I want you to watch at least 2.
At least 2.
At least 2 episodes for your challenge.
Battlestar
Galactica is what we're talking about. Yep. We didn't even mention the name.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah, I said Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
My challenge for you this week.
Okay.
So there's a little game.
There's lots of games. Yes. Lots of little games.
If you don't know me, which
Pet Rescue, Candy Crush.
Oh gosh. Oh no.
Tetris.
No.
Mario?
No.
Zelda?
No.
The Last of Us.
I think that's the last one that you're gonna do.
BioShock.
Nope, never mind. Okay. I'm I'm a huge Blizzard fan, and Blizzard just recently came out with a free-to-play game called Hearthstone.
Heroes of the Storm.
No, but we need to play that.
Okay.
Hearthstone.
Okay.
It's a card game, and it's all on the computer. It's really fun. If you haven't checked it out, you can seriously go play it for free. It's super easy to pick up, super easy to learn, a little bit difficult to master, as all Blizzard games should be.
Yeah.
Are
Easy to start and a lot of fun to start, but like you said, difficult to become a master.
And I know you've played a little bit of it.
Yeah,
And
just a few.
you've enjoyed it a little bit, but you kind of fell off the radar. Well, a lot of the problem that I think you might find with Hearthstone is the multiplayer aspect of it, because you don't really, it's like, oh, I have to face other people or an AI.
Yeah.
Well, on July 22nd, they're coming out with their first solo adventure mode called the Curse of Naxxramas.
Okay.
Where basically it's a WoW raid that's been converted into a Hearthstone, basically adventure. And you go through and you fight the different bosses in this raid and everything, and each of them have crazy abilities that you have to get through. The first wing is free.
Okay.
So you can play the first wing on your own, and I'd like you to go through it and see how much you like it just with the adventure mode with it.
I will. Challenge
See if you like it.
accepted.
Okay, awesome. And I will try and watch Battlestar Galactica this week.
Don't fail me.
I'm sorry.
Don't fail me.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna run out of geek cards if you don't.
They're just coming to.
We just have a pile of them sitting on the desk, and
Yeah.
whenever one of us loses one, we got to add it to the other one. It's kind of like a card game, like Uno.
Do you have any geek cards?
Do you have any E's?
Jenga.
Jumanji.
Alrighty, I think that's it for this week.
That is
Thank
it.
you all for listening. If you would like to contact us with a topic idea, a question, you can email us at axeofgeekery@gmail.com.
That's ACTS, not AXE. Facebook.com/axeofgeekery.
That's ACTS, not AXE. Or you can follow us on Twitter at axeofgeekery.
That is ACTS again, not AXE. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm Scott.
And I'm Cory.
Keep geeking out.
See ya.